In a live televised address, President Barack Obama announced the dawn of a new era, a normalization of bilateral relations with Cuba following more than 50 years of economic blockade, a policy that, according to Obama's own admission, has failed to bring down the Cuban revolution.
We will end an outdated approach that for decades has failed to advance our interests, and instead we will begin to normalize relations between our two countries.
Although the White House will relax travel, commercial and diplomatic restrictions, the US Congress has yet to approve the end of the blockade against Cuba. In Havana, President Raúl Castro insisted the struggle had not yet ended.
This does not mean that the main issue has been resolved. The economic, commercial and financial blockade, which causes huge human and economic losses to our country, has come to an end.
The declarations from both heads of state came after the release of the Cuban 5 anti-terrorists held in US prisons since 1998. Cuba reciprocated the move with the release of US spy Alan Gross.
To me, Cubanos, or at least most of them, are incredibly kind, generous, and talented. It pains me to see them treated so unjustly as a consequence of two governments' mutually belligerent policies. 5.5 decades of history show us that such belligerence inhibits better judgment. Two wrongs never make a right.
As the news came in, Cubans took to the streets to welcome back their heroes and the new relations with their northern neighbors, a cause for celebration they had been waiting on for decades. Leaders from Mercosur member countries met in Argentina on Wednesday, signing 5 joint declarations. The documents issued support for the Argentine government's ongoing legal battle with the US vulture funds. Also, in a separate statement, the leaders from the Mercosur economic bloc denounced the continued US aggression against Venezuela.
The federal government continues receiving criticism over its response to the crisis brought about by the case of the 43 missing Ayotzinapa students. Federal electoral officials are in Guerrero in response to a meeting between families of students and the Senate. They're analyzing the situation in the state to determine whether next year's elections should be cancelled.
The Pakistani government lifted a moratorium on the death penalty this week after Taliban gunmen attacked a school, killing 132 children and 9 teachers in the northwestern city of Peshawar. Whilst the country went into mourning, military forces immediately carried out a series of airstrikes against Taliban positions near the border with Afghanistan. The bloodshed has shocked the nation and put pressure on the government to do more to tackle the Pakistani Taliban insurgency.